I needed to keep going. We are jamming out here. Good morning, everybody in the Discover Crypto community. We are the blockchain basement coming at you. I got the ghost in the machine, Isaac.
Hello there. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. It's going well. I didn't expect that. We had woken up to some chaos today. Trump got on the roof of the White House and announced EU tariffs could go up to 35%. And we also have slight outflows from ETFs, causing a lot of scariness, scary feelings on the markets, and you can see it in the charts. Bitcoin fell down today, folks. It was not great. Okay, Bitcoin, it stumbled, it fell all the way down to $112,600. Now, as things sit right now, we are trying to find our footing. 113,160. I did give the highlight to the Discord. I did take a position at 113 long Bitcoin. Gave that shout out in the Discord. You got my stop loss. We'll see if this holds. Setting the stop loss right below this current level here. So I left my stop loss about 112,550. See if she holds. We're riding on the edge of a knife right now. So trying to catch that fallen knife. You can't get lucky if you're in at the fair. Shout out to anyone in on the trade with me. We are seeing the money flow on the 15-minute try to make it swoop back up. We did get that green dot confirmation. But we're going to see if this major pullback can turn into a proving point of support. I am also liking how it's falling and holding at the middle point of this previous W pattern that we found ourselves in on earlier. I think, when did we fall, Isaac? Was it yesterday that we fell to 112? We fell to like 111.9. Was it? Was it?
Yeah, I didn't check yesterday. I was busy.
Oh, that's right. Where were you?
I was in Atlanta at the Army headquarters all day.
You sound ASMR-y right now. You know, you're all like,
Fine.
I was up at the Army base all day. Okay.
Jesus. Good morning, everyone. Though, let's give a quick hello to the people in the chat here. We got Dennis Peters. What is up? BTS 10293. Clips Craze Express. What is up? Yeah, and we will ban. We will ban. We have fun banning here on the blockchain basement. Now we are filming and going live on Discover Crypto. Make sure to give us a follow on Discover Crypto here if you are tuned in but not subscribed for some chaotic reason. I don't know why someone would do that. They're watching a video, they're getting the alpha. Now, as things sit right now, sure, things could, I guess you could call this scary. The pullback that we've experienced, pretty normal in terms of structural integrity for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Now, not even going to be surprised if we do try and make sure that $108,000 is a hardcore level of support. This is something that we got to watch out for, is if we come back down to this pump 2 point right here at $108,000 and actually have to end up proving that as a support level. Right now, we're trying to bounce off of a very short-term little shelf that we built up for ourselves. So, you know, there is that. What is up? Good morning, Julie. Seth Shepard overtook. You know, I went a little extreme. I went a little extreme with the thumbnail, and I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Larry Fink and the ETFs are in a situation where they have strangle-held crypto. Now we are beholden to the ETFs and their movements there within. And, you know, power is just being consolidated once again. Now, if that's a good or a bad thing for the ethos of Bitcoin, you can argue till the cows come home. Now, in terms of price, honestly, a really good thing for price. You know, Bitcoin has taken a really nice move since the ETFs have went into play. Now, looking at Bitcoin on the larger time frame, which we should always be doing first and foremost, it is all systems a go, but there are some slight warning signs here. There are some slight warning signs. Your momentum wave to the upside clipped a red dot about a week ago. The money flow doesn't look horrible. And I still am of the opinion that this general money flow movement that we've seen so far is actually going to end up looking something like this. I think the ETFs and the Bitcoin reserves are going to create a situation where the money flow goes to places that it hasn't been since the 2017 bull market. I think that what we're looking at in our adoption phase will actually push us into a better performing market in this current time frame than we did experience in 2020. in 2021. But the ETF flows that got people concerned. What can I say? Here's the ETF flows. This is what everyone's freaking out about, right? The hyperbolic headlines across the internet, including mine, to get you to click this show and give us a like here, is this outflow that basically is a blip in the map. We had larger outflows here in April of 2025. And where things sit right now, honestly, I'm not too concerned. There is, all the headlines about Trump and his crash outs. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Here's Trump on the roof of the White House, ready to take questions. I want to listen to this.
President Trump is on the roof of the White House. He's taking questions, or he was just a few moments ago. Let's listen in, please.
What is he doing?
Looking good, Peter.
Dude, what is going on? Am I just doing like here? This might have better sound to actually see what he was trying to say here. It was so insane. This is so crazy. Here he is. He's walking out. This is my roof. Welcome, everyone. I am on my roof. Isaac, I think that's not your sound effects, is it, Isaac?
They are not.
What is going on? So this is like the reality of our media this morning.
Mr.
Little
President,
fist
what
bump.
are you doing up there?
What are you doing up there? He just hollers back. It's so crazy. But you know what? He's doing things. He's setting up executive orders. Talking about banks like JP Morgan and Bank of America previously discriminated against him and conservative groups. And this is politically motivated debanking, but now he's kind of lumping it into the crypto conversation of debanking that happened to crypto firms, people here in the United States. So it is interesting to see that he is calling out an executive order that will go out against these banks and kind of call them out for their, basic. I mean, it's discrimination, but it's a little bit deeper when you're able to control someone's movements to and from, in terms of payments. Like when you're able to shut down someone's monetary freedom, that's where absolute, the end of the line comes. And he's digging in. Trump is also threatening 35% tariffs on the European Union. They have set, previously, I think it was like the end of last week, they were talking about 6 months Trump would give the EU to work out tariff deals. Let's listen to how things are going.
Mr. President, what kind of teeth, though, are in those investments? What kind of teeth are in those investments, meaning that would force the EU to make those investments? If they don't make those investments, what happens on the other side?
Well, then they pay tariffs of 35%. No, they brought down their tariffs. So they paid $600 billion. And because of that, I reduced their tariffs from 30% down to 15%. And a couple of countries came, how come EU is paying less than us? And I said, well, because they gave me $600 billion. And that's a gift. That's not like, a loan, by the way. That's not a loan that, 3 years comes up, we have to pay it back.
So I was on my way to work today just thinking, God, I hope he just shuts up about tariffs. Just give me one day where we don't have to listen to tariffs and watch the markets crash in the morning as Wall Street opens. It wasn't true. He came out and delivered once again. Isaac, am I going to have a day in the next 6 months where I don't wake up and have to listen to Trump talk about tariffs?
No,
You don't think so?
I don't think so. And he's been talking about tariffs since his campaign.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a running part of his campaign, or the movement. That's it. Mahogany going off in the chat. Now, I feel like Ibby Crypto in the chat here says, just shut up about tariffs already. Like, I think we've talked about them enough. We had the tariff trade war punch us down to 75K. I feel like the EU is going to have to work out a deal with the United States, not because of, economic reason, but because of military connections from NATO and the assurance of a unified front in the EU nations, aka NATO, with the United States over the next 5 years is going to be pretty important to have together, as they have adversaries such as Russia and China that are building on the other side of the fence. So why does Daru's talking about someone's trading or changing his name? Kind of weird. That does sound weird. This is like Isaac. you're getting ready to go to the military, is there still a vibe that, World War III is impending? Is Russia versus the United States inevitable? What is the general vibe?
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Oh, God.
When was the last time you've heard something about war recently?
On the mainstream media, it's kind of been quiet.
Very
Been quiet.
That kind of
Yep.
answers the question itself. There isn't really talks about war right now. Everything's kind of settled down from where we are right now, and that could 100% change over the next couple of months because I don't leave till November. But as of right now, I don't think there's going to be a war. I don't think World War III is inevitable as of right now. So we're hanging out. We're chilling.
Okay. Maybe I'll go down to the single stack then. Now we're talking about macroeconomic tug of war. That's basically, it's messing with our Bitcoin charts. It's messing with my Bitcoin longs. This stuff matters for my altcoin bags because when I wake up, price is down. I don't feel good about that. It's trade war talk that has continued to push this forward. But this is from the Kobayashi letter. The odds of a White House economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, to become the next federal chair is surging. Now it's up 36%. This according to Kalshi. Just hours ago, Trump said that he narrowed down his pick to the final four for the replacement, the scheduled replacement, not the emergency replacement, for Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. Let's go dig in. Who is this Hassett guy? So his work experience, career-wise, he was an assistant professor, it looks like, at the Columbia Business School, 1989 to 93. He was also working within the Division of Research and Statistics for Federal Reserve Board of Governors. So he was working in that research division for the Federal Reserve Board and Governors and served as a policy consultant for the U.S. State Treasury Department under Bush and Clinton. You weren't there for the Clinton administration. We had mo jobs and blow jobs, baby. You know what I mean? The internet boom was hot and heavy.
Glory holes.
Oh, Jesus. And then, God. Whoa.
This is the basement show.
No,
on
I
Scalper
mean,
Crypto.
okay. Yeah, I forgot.
Unhinged.
It's just, you weren't there, man. It was the internet boom. And really what I want to kind of highlight here is even though I have never supported Hillary Clinton ever, or Bill Clinton for that matter, but the time frame that Bill Clinton was president for is a time frame to be sought after. Economically, you were on the heels of the explosion of the internet boom. You had all kinds of money flowing in, new advancements, Monica Lewinsky's dress. God, there were so many things. We had Blockbuster. We were kings. Now, what we have, I do think we're knocking on the door of a similar type of economic boom, but it's, in my opinion, going to come in the form of AI and data centers that are actually going to be built and the power plant infrastructure to power those data centers. I think these industries are going to be a great place to print dirty fiat if you choose to do so here. This is actually happening near us. Look at this,
Yeah,
Isaac.
real quick. I have to do something.
Oh, you got
I have to do something.
oh.
Just give me a second.
You are banned!
I feel so much better now. Continue.
Bad for you. Amazon Data Center Services just dropped. They're doing a $270 million purchase of 985 acres in Lamar County here in Georgia, right? So they're doing this south of Atlanta. Amazon setting up that, or carving out that cloud processing location the size of a dozen malls. A massive project, right? And so when I bring things up like this is, looking at how much money the U.S. government is going to print, not just for the spending bills and the average things that we complain about macroeconomically that drive us to Bitcoin. The more this Federal Reserve prints, the more misrepresentation of my votes on a legislative level, the more that this system moves away from representing me, the more I move into Bitcoin, right? But when I see things like the start of conversation from Larry Fink at BlackRock, talking about printing $10 trillion for AI and power generation infrastructure, it makes me look to those industries as well for potential upside in terms of those stock picks. And also just for jobs. Like, people are looking for a career. Things are changing. AI is coming at you quick. All of a sudden, they took my job, right? That's the conversation. look at the industries that are coming up. I think structural concrete, data centers, electricians, there's going to be a lot of juice in that squeeze there. So shout out to you if you are in the chat and you are involved with those trades, because I think you have pretty bright future for what's coming to the United States. This is what I've been calling the New Deal, my bros. Now, even with all that bullishness, yes, some ETFs are having outflows. So net flows, this is from Look On Chain, 3,858 Bitcoin left the iShares BlackRock. Now they have essentially, 2,544 of that total 3,800. So the iShares outflows from BlackRock's ETF do make up the majority of the outflows. But the thing is that they currently have 738,000 Bitcoin in this. iShares ETF holds nearly 1 million Bitcoin. Absolutely ridiculous amount of Bitcoin. So this outflow really doesn't affect the aggregate holdings of the iShares ETF. Now, Ethereum ETFs, they did have a net outflow of 155,000 ETH, worth about $500 million. And the iShares BlackRock version of this ETH ETF had 100,000 ETH leave the house, leave the party, but they're currently sitting on 3 million ETH. So as things sit, yes, you're seeing a little bit of resetting, but as I was talking about in the Discover Investments group Discord, which you should join with a link down in the description, and a user ID from LBank or Blowfin, which you can put in and get in that bad boy. I was talking about this is markets kind of resetting and finding that kind of stable ground to build upon price action for this month. We're looking for what is that local support. That is why I'm snooping around for these longs. I do got to go check out the long and see how we're doing. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. I think we got
You're no longer in danger.
You're not in danger. No, and when you tell me to go into a long, Isaac, if it goes poorly, it's your fault. If it goes well, it's my fault. Okay?
I know.
That's how things work. We made 7% while I'm sitting here yapping. Decent little start. I mean, I might want to clip this thing off. So I can, or at least raise my stop. But I see these ETFs, they're not stopping. Like, let's look at the money flow. Let's look at the larger term money flow. So the weekly money flow is really where I think we get the tail of, all of this information kind of playing out on the markets. Right now, we've just seen a pretty consistent ebb and flow. Each one of these peaks seems to be building up in height. That's where we're at right now, is we're seeing if we can keep the momentum going to build beyond this 39 height on the money flow and see where it actually ends up. But I really feel like this ETF release came right at the beginning of 2024, right here. We had an initial dump when the information that BlackRock actually finally wanted their ETF came out. We had a little bit of a dump that it was coming. And we have pumped very, very aggressively. But the structure about this is what makes me think. These are very flatline staircase type designs with a sharp crash there and a sharp crash there to basically give you the oomph to make it to the next price action. But this price action has been boring retail to death, and it's coming out on the charts. They have been exposed for the weekends that they are. I have a great post from Kelly Kellum that we got to talk about here. This is smart money is stacking while retail is selling and sleeping. Be like smart money, even if you aren't yet or you never will be. This is the dark gray whales accumulating Bitcoin in these current price ranges of right at about $120,000, which is nuts to think about. And the retail are leaving. The blue is the retail. They're on the aggregate sales side, while whales are really, really turning up the heat, turning up the volume in terms of those buys. Kind of insane to think about. So I put all this information together. I make sure that the systems are a go and the ETFs are a go every single morning here. And the more I think about it, this is more comfortable of an asset for huge money managers to buy, even just because it is at $100,000. Like when they're looking at it at $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, it doesn't have as much validity as a $2+ trillion market cap, right? It doesn't have enough as much of a validity in that sense. So when I see, the outflows happening, yes, okay, it's important to know that on today you do see a daily total net outflow, right? But in aggregate, this thing has been up and to the right. We have to sometimes breathe, sometimes take a moment, because we see things like this happening even with a slight ETF outflows. Then you have top public Bitcoin treasury companies absolutely hammering into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Top 100 public companies here jointly hold nearly 1 million Bitcoin. Absolutely crazy. These companies, if you add them all together, nearly holding 1 million Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoin in total, guys. There's only maybe what, like 1 million, million and a half left to mine. The supply squeeze is real. I'm excited to see it. Now, this is crazy. As the supply squeeze heats up, these stories of kidnappers and ransoms for your Bitcoin. Just be careful out there. Let's look at this.
One of 2 men accused of kidnapping and torturing an Italian millionaire over a Bitcoin password has been released from jail. Paducah native and crypto investor John Waltz is out on a $1 million bond. His release comes a week after a judge granted bond for both Waltz and his alleged accomplice, William Duplessis. Prosecutors say the two lured the victim to a Manhattan townhouse on May 6th, then threatened to kill his family while torturing him for his password. The victim escaped after 17 days in captivity. Duplessis remains in jail.
17 days. They have to make a movie about this. He was tortured and held for 17 days, didn't give up them private keys, didn't click the link, and escape back to his family. Shout out to that. Jesus, man. Just be careful out there, because I can tell that Bitcoin's highly sought after by not only these companies, governments, and then if you're especially public about crypto, you have to be careful. You cannot responsibly own crypto without exercising your Second Amendment right. That's what I would say. Now, some clarity on this. This came out last night. China has not banned crypto. China had its original bans roll out in 2021. This is just a highlighting of those original bans and potential. I wouldn't be surprised to see China kind of looking at internal potentials of expanding that crypto ban should they see, the pullback come. Somehow China does the bans right as Bitcoin peaks, protects its people from the downside, and then opens up access to a degree to Hong Kong as things start to get juicy, but they only open it up to their mainland. Now, let me know in the chat if you are in China and you're not in Hong Kong, do you actually have access to crypto? Because a lot of the real access that I've seen roll out within China has been specifically to Hong Kong, the financial hub, the District 1 of the location. Now, we have a potential here of Donald Trump saying that he would like to run for president again. Would you vote for Donald Trump without the files, without the list coming out, without any of those things? Would you vote for President Trump again? I'm a 2-time past voter. I want to know what your opinion is down in the comments below. 4% chance right now on Polymark that President Trump would be the GOP 2028 nominee. Isaac, if you actually accessed your ability to vote, who would you vote for?
Who's running against him?
Let's say Gavin Newsom. The more obvious of the chat. I'd say Gavin Newsom. And let me know in the chat if you got a better idea of who's going to lead the Democrats. I think it's going to be Gavin Newsom. What do you think?
I'd vote for Trump. Screw it. Why not?
You think? Okay. A lot of people would. Mikhail, no. You got valid reasons why. And I want to hear those. Drop your reasons, and we got to discuss as a family. What are we going to do politically in this next iteration of America? Now, back to crypto here. This treasury build out of SharpLink on Ethereum is getting thick. They hit 521,000 Ethereum. That is completely staked. They have staked this entire treasury. Absolutely massive moves. Ethereum treasuries in the shorter term are probably going to outpace Bitcoin treasuries in terms of gains made, right? I think Ethereum has more gains to be made than Bitcoin from where they both sit. When they do these bans? What is up, Niter? You're new around here. Good to see you. I see a good question. Where is it? From Zima, asking about Polygon Matic. I feel like Polygon Matic is something worth looking at. I feel like Polygon Matic is something worth looking at. It's felt like trash. It's performed like trash, right? That's the vibe right there. Isaac just said it. But is it trash? Now, this trade, I think we got to close. Hold on. Wait a minute. Are we pumping? Wait a minute. We need some kind of like dance music or something when I kill trade. Let's see. I think this might actually have a little bit of room to run. She got some room to run. Give her a second. Give her a second. I do want to look at Polygon. I want to know what the hell is going to happen in it, because I made a ton of money off Polygon last market. It's been horrible this market. Layer 2s. This is one of the biggest layer 2s on Ethereum out there. Polygon down in the depths. Down in the depths. And if you accumulated a Polygon now, while everyone has faded it, the volume is up 78% on the 24-hour. Let's see. I mean, it's easy for me to fade things on the way down. Now we're like bouncing a few times. I'm like, you know, don't think it'll ever hit its previous high. Its previous all-time high was like mid $2, I believe. I believe it even hit a little bit higher than that potentially. They took away the old graph, so I don't have the whole graph to work with here. I mean, the volume is up. That is something. You have all the tokens out though. There's not that whole VC push to dump on them. Poly market runs on them. This is a tough question. Is it dead? As a risk investor, I look at that chart and I'm like, man, things have gone down. In the long term, you are kind of bouncing. Right here at 118, 116 flat. You are bouncing flat right there. Maybe. I'm gonna. All right, and we also need to ask the chat, Isaac. Put a poll in the chat. Do we close the trade? Because usually I go from on 20%, but I'm distracted right now by all these wonderful questions, these wonderful people that spend their most valuable time with us here on this show. I want to know what you guys think. Should I close that trade? Now, another part of this ETH strategy race, this ETH treasury race, Bitmine, it's holding 800,000 Ethereum, 830,000 Ethereum, worth $3 billion. It's become the largest corporate Ethereum holder on the planet, acquiring in just 35 days. Went from zero to hero. 35 days. Now, all of a sudden, Bitmine slammed onto the table as the world's largest corporate Ethereum holder. Now it targets 5% of the total ETH supply, led by Fundstrat's Tom Lee. 5% coming at right at around 6 million Ethereum. They're looking to more than 6x this number from where they currently sit. They're looking to go from 3 billion, to 18 billion, or 6x, 3 times. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. A massive increase in ETH holdings. Now the race is on, can ETH hold this pump? Because Bitcoin and the dominance, it's been holding pretty strong. Bitcoin and I know I was really excited maybe it was last night that Benjamin Cowan was satisfied with ETH having gone home. Let's take a look at and just give a visual representation of what ETH going home means. Should we finally be looking for that massive turnaround? So this is ETH dominance, and this is ETH done gone to home. Since it went home, we have pumped by about 62% from what is looking like and hoping to be a generalized double bottom on Ethereum dominance. So Bitcoin dominance matters a lot in this equation. We've started the week off. We're about 2 days into the week, and we have built out what is turning to be a red candle on the weekly. We also are riding to the downside in terms of momentum, heading to the downside on momentum here off of that most recently printed red dot, which is interesting. It is interesting to see, but there is absolute potential for us to bounce right here if this ends up turning into a trigger wave, momentum clips to the upside, and you find support at the 60% level. We're on the edge of the cliff. when it comes to altcoins. I know things are looking pretty decent. Honestly, I mean, when you go here, it doesn't look that great. But Ethereum at 3,600, not so bad, right? SWI is up here at $3.50. BNB is just under previous all-time highs at $860. It's really not too far away. Solana's got a lot of room to make up, and I actually do think if we see that generalized return of alt season that we've all know and look forward to, I think Solana will revisit those $300 levels. I think it'll revisit those $400 levels. Do we have results from the poll? What did the poll say to do? We're gonna give the power to the people. What did it end up being? Yes.
Yes.
Was it?
53%.
Is it yes?
No, 46%.
All right, fine. We're doing it. I'm gonna clip it. Clipping it. Clipped. Half a Bitcoin trade. That was a nice little play. Nice little play. Shout out to him.
You're welcome.
Shout out. And you know what we're doing? I'm exercising the fact that, yeah, you can find a good entry point on a trade, but taking 20% profit in your trading is important. This is he's always the voice on my shoulder. He's like, dude, consistent.
I'm the little devil on his shoulder.
Well, the people that want to leave trades open for like ever, they're worried about never finding an entry point again, right? If you practice trading enough, you're always going to be able to find new entry points, So there you go. Nice little closed position while I'm live here. Now, we do have some pretty big news for Cardano, Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, AVAX, BNB, and basic attention token holders. Do you know what basic attention token is, Isaac?
No.
There's Brave Browser. Last bull market, you would get paid in BAT token.
Interesting.
And now what's going on? The reason why I bring it up, Isaac, is that BAT, you haven't heard about it at all, but it was a big deal. Things change in crypto. Things change. Narratives change. According to Minturn, obviously DZ's been covering it. Midnight airdrop is going live. The night token, the airdrop claim phase has officially opened. I did see DZ connecting in. I got the Lace wallet going, and I think we might have a link in our description potentially. Let's see if we do here. You know what? We don't. I want to make sure that we do so. So I'm going to do that on the side because the Lace wallet, we've got to be careful about clicking links. We got to be careful about just clicking whatever out there right now in terms of this midnight airdrop. You don't want to click the wrong link and then end up in a honeypot type situation. There's lots of scammers that come out during these times, and they do end up stealing a good chunk of crypto. So you guys got to be careful out there when looking to claim this. So let's go ahead and save that. I got that. So, okay, so that should be DZ's link. There we go. We got DZ's link. Now this is what we're looking at in terms of the midnight airdrop. If you held $100 or more of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, ADA, Avalanche, XRP, BNB, or basic attention token in a self-custody wallet. Very important. Not a just an exchange. It can't be just on any exchange. You have to have had it in a self-custody wallet on June 11th. Then you're eligible to claim free night tokens. All right. So they're doing the snapshot. If you had those tokens on that self-custody wallet on June 11th, then you're qualified in if it's more than $100 of any of these tokens. When this is telling me that probably 99% of you guys have qualifying wallets that would make it eligible for this. You got to visit the official Midnight Network. It's the X account here. It's at Midnight NTWRK on Twitter. Make sure you're following the right one. This one, 39,000.4 followers. Okay. Do not follow the wrong link. Do not follow the wrong person. And please, for the love of God, be careful out there. This is the midnight.gd website. This shows you how to get the night tokens. You can make the claim is the first step. Obviously, you got to go through all of these different processes. I am currently in the portion where I've set up my Lace wallet and then I YOLO'd along and got the show together. So I'm going to be doing the rest of this tonight. But make sure that you do catch the video also that DZ is doing think he's come out already with the video here. Let's make sure. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. All right. So there it is, right there. Upgrade. Where is it? Not yet. Oh man. So it's on his Twitter only. You guys, make sure you guys are gonna have to go to DZ's Twitter for this one. You guys are gonna have to go to DZ's Twitter because I know he's got it out. I'm being real specific about this. I don't want to see a bunch of people get farmed by scammers. All right, let's see here. Here's DZ at DZ_BTC. The hostess with the mostest, man. This guy crushes it. He did a video with Jason Appleton talking about this. Stay tuned to DZ. You can get all the information. He's very, very good about making sure sources are solid. It's going to be important to do. Now, Base had a little bit of an issue last night, and some of my projects that I hold in my portfolio did not do so great. Okay. Some of the projects that I hold did not do so great. We had a Base scan, went down for 20-minute halt in the block production times on Base Network, the first major outage since launch. Okay, so this not a great situation. Some other posts from this: Vinny Barbosa, Base mainnet experienced a major outage today. Investigation started at 6:15 UTC. They resolved it about 3 hours later, just over 3 hours later. The incident affected deposits, withdrawals, block production, flash blocks, rendering a 99.98 uptime in the last 90 days. Now, this, yes, concerning mechanically, price-wise, no. Solana's gone down $12 times. Solana has literally been off just like this 12 times, still has risen to over $280 from the dollar buy entry points that people were getting into 2020, $8, $9 in 2022, 2023 timeframe. Now, I don't think Base going down is the best thing in terms of, it's going to be instituted at a government level. I mean, it's a private organization. Coinbase is doing what they will. It doesn't have its own native token either, but it was interesting to see the Base network go down. I do want to go check in on CoinMarketCap now to see what that meant for some of my favorite Base plays, because that probably didn't go so well. I haven't even looked at them yet here. The zone I'm in is farming more Tether, buying more Bitcoin, and monitoring these altcoins for yeet timeframes. There's a couple alts that I feel like buying. Morpho not down too bad off of it, still at about $1.80, so that's good. Where is Aerodrome? No, Aerodrome is down 9%, up a few percent on the hour, so it's trying to tick back up here. Aerodrome with a strong pullback off this news. Not a great look. Now, let's look at this. Do I buy more Aerodrome, Isaac? I'm notorious for buying Aerodrome at 50 cents.
I love my Aerodrome. Yeah.
Yeah?
But you want to buy it at 50 cents.
This
You get more of a pullback.
good. Look at this.
This look good.
Look at that. That's just a stair step right there.
Baby.
That's just a stair step right there. That's what I see. Really, the thing that we got to watch is if we can break out of this upper channel here. I'd actually, looking at this structurally, I feel like we're going to bounce. And now we're going to start building the next kind of wave upwards here. Kind of a key moment, something that I got to watch to make sure we can break out of in the near future is this kind of ascending trend line on the top end of these local mountaintop ranges here. Fast sell up, yes. But Aerodrome, I think, is going to be just fine. Base, Coinbase, they're going to be just fine. They're going to figure it out. Let's see. I want to go through the chat here. Pete Jr. Made some bad decisions in crypto. Let me know what your worst decision in crypto was. I want to think about my worst decision. My worst decision, closing a $5,000 30x long on Bitcoin at 55K right before liftoff. Right? That could have been, who knows how much money that would have been.
Crazy.
That's a pretty good chunk. What's your worst mistake in crypto, Isaac? Graphane? Oh, yes. An AI agent? Let's go look. We're going to talk about our mistakes together.
And it's okay to make mistakes.
You got to make mistakes.
Because we're humans. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
Fail often, fail early, right?
And
Fail
then
everywhere.
get right back up.
Right.
If you don't, you'll continue to lose.
It's true. Let's go to the graphene chart. So you're not holding this thing anymore, right?
Nope.
And kind of what happened here, because in 2024, back here, if it was graphed, we had like a near ICP, kind of AI adjacent bull run. And then this secondary wave, this guy was the AI agent mini bull run, right? For altcoins. Now I do feel like AI is going to come back. AI agents are another question, right? This graph always makes me talk about this because we had AI adjacent projects pump in 2024 at the beginning. Then at the end, we had the AI agents. Now we're seeing DeFi AI agents start to take that limelight.
Like
you know what I
Mamo.
mean? Like Mamo, right? So this is interesting. Graphene at 3 cents is crazy. It is the great. Graphene was in the mix of the virtuals upswing, and virtuals is actually doing a lot better, I think. Let's go to virtuals protocol. Yeah, it's still over $1. Overall, it's holding these original pump to pump moments much, much stronger than Graphene. But Mamo, honestly, like this is where I'm really glad that we've been tracking Mamo so closely. Obviously, I mean, price action going up helps. But Mamo, I think, is giving us an interesting signal that DeFi related AI agents, useful AI agents, actually might be part of that next kind of iteration of upside. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm seeing. I don't own Mamo, but you know what? We gave a hard-sided back up the truck moment buy on this. Look at the beautiful W pattern with the little winky right there. That's the W pattern right there. It's you testing the previous all-time high as support perfectly at 9.8 cents. You had a W pattern formation, and then boom, you get that nasty upside. Mamo is up double, just about from just a little bit less than double, about 80% from just a few days ago when it was at that. So shout out to everyone that took advantage of that. Mamo, I think, is signaling something is changing in terms of what AI projects are going to pump next. I think it's a constant ebb and flow of new AI agents. And really that virtuals project is where a lot of things are built off of. But it would be curious to kind of peel back the layers of virtuals and see if there is still a lot of upside, a lot of projects outlook to build on virtuals as well in the future. It looks like Mikhail not liking virtuals. I'm curious on what your guys' opinion, because it is a place where people will choose to build on virtuals, and it's kind of like instead of being the gold miner in the gold rush, you're the guy selling the shovel to the gold miners, right? You're making that constant money. Virtuals is in a situation like that. AI agents, I think DeFi AI agents make a lot more sense to me because they can go in and out of pools and actually do the work for the person that's looking for the yield. And that's a pretty useful, utility for a token. So I like seeing that. Now let's keep going through all of this other information, because as we talked about the base shakeup last night, the outage, right? Oh my gosh, the world's over with. Then we had this. Seems like people have been coining quite a bit on base. We have base launch pads and Solana, base and Solana tokens created by them, really going quite crazy. There is a huge influx of people building projects, and not only base but Solana. And Solana, I think, has got a lot going for it, not just for the sneaky DeFi plays. I think that what we'll have is ETFs staking Solana. I think we're going to have ETFs staking Ethereum in mass at the end of this year. I think it's going to drive a fever pitch from Wall Street. I think that'll be that kind of mega outpacing Bitcoin moment for Ethereum and altcoins, is when they realize that there is lots of yield, lots of money to make in those Ethereum ecosystems. And it's, my hand, it is what it is. If they see that they can get 5% yield, they're going to be going after those spots. So now I don't even know. This is so inside baseball. Isaac, what do you see here? Does this remind you of Chat GPTs?
It does. It does remind me of the pentagram that ChatGPT logo is. I didn't actually say that, guys. Just let you know. I'm just a ghost.
We're gonna get off this. We're gonna
Okay,
get off that
my
screen.
bad.
We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. Okay. What's that? Breaking SEC news. What is? Oh my God. Okay. 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 We got some breaking news. We got some breaking news. Oh my God. We got to give this a reshare. Go reshare this from Discover Crypto. TJ, just let me know. SEC just declared liquid staking activities and tokens are not considered securities. Open the floodgates. Massive, massive news. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Did I sound like? No, it's you that sounds like God. Do you have Morgan Freeman's sound?
I don't have Morgan Freeman sound. I have a couple sounds.
Oh
We should
my
go through the
God.
sounds, right?
Oh my God. No, this is TJ. This is huge news right here. Seeing liquid staking activities declared non-securities by the SEC. Absolute nitrous oxide to go into the gasoline take of altcoins. Are we going to see altcoins tick up? Are we going to see the pump here? We were still sitting here. Let's go look at the charts. Let's go look at the charts. That's big news. Let's go check out Ethereum and see how she is doing. Where do I find this? I'll just bring you guys here on the ride with me. We're going to Ethereum. Let's see how these altcoins react to this news. Liquid stake tokens, not securities. Here's Ethereum's price. Honestly, fell less violently. Let's just kind of compare Ethereum to Bitcoin directly here. Oh boy, do I fire off a momentum trade? 2 trades in one show. We have action. Calm down. Head on over to Ethereum and the alts to get this juicy upside. Here's Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin in comparison. Pretty similar structure in general, but ETH, ETH with this news, it moves a lot more violently than Bitcoin. That is absolutely enticing. This is enticing for me. Seeing the bullish news come through, and honestly, the angle on this looks like a strong hold of support, man. I mean, we hit 3,550, just about 3,563 times, like hard. Bounced off of it good. Very, very interesting. What up, DeFi, crypto, and airdrops? Good to see you again, my man. Massive news. This is, what I was just talking about, the end of the year, the ETFs to go live with staking on even things like Solana at the end of the year. The amount of yield that you can make in the liquidity in crypto is really what these market makers want. They don't care about anything but that constant, juicy yield that they can produce. If it's going to be on treasuries, they're going to go that way. If it's going to be in mortgages, they're going to go that way. But also can come through the realm of staking on these altcoin ecosystems. And this is where it's crazy to see that we've been watching these things be built. We've been investing in them, but now they are rolling out and being accepted on an institutional grade level. So exciting. So excited. Now, what do we got here? Mamo open for trading on Coinbase tomorrow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's go to Mamo's chart. I know we just looked at this chart. I already explained the utility. It's a DeFi AI agent. The chart structure is just beautiful. I mean, it's at the if it gets momentum from where it sits right now, it's breaking an all-time high price discovery zone. This thing, if it gets that listing and it has a lot of fireworks tomorrow, all-time high zone. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Going live with that. Now, this is also a stat that kind of blew me away. 40% of all on-chain fees now are being paid in Tether. This is from the Tether CEO, Paulo Ardonio. And this is what came to my mind is USDT has seemingly been targeted by the DOJ in many different investigations, essentially, over the years. And in the background, Tether was just building out the plan to buy U.S. treasuries and hold government debt. Sure, they're going to build out a long-term, years-long planning session to go buy government debt and hold government debt of the same government that's investigating. Sure. on the other hand, Circle is seemingly getting all of the regulatory paths and fields cleared for Circle and USDC to be the next CBDC in the United States. We have two competing factions here, maybe controlled by the same organization, or this is just good old free market competitiveness. Isaac, what do you think? Is it all a scam, or are these two actual organic companies that are going to try to make the best product? What do you think?
I think they're going to try to make the best product because as a company, you want to make the best product for your customers. But I mean, anything could be a scam at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It depends on how it's used,
You know,
how
it's just-
it's like
I've
brought to
grown
the
up
public.
around scams, man. It's hard to not think something's like I grew up 2001. Then you move on to Vegas, right? All of these things that have been such cataclysmic scams that I've grown up around. And now I see USDC and USDT kind of competing and vying for that next central bank digital currency type product spot. Because CBDCs are like banned, they're outlawed. So more than likely, over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a company like Tether or like Circle turn into the next government issued coin. You know what I mean? Celestia, biggest mistake. Celestia was. I am so glad that I got out of Celestia when I did. Holy God, that is a painful project to watch. I got into Celestia at like $2 and got out at 10. It's been down. And people were telling me that I was an idiot when I left at $10 too. You know, it's just the kind of the music stopped for modularity. I was looking around. I was like, where's the bullishness? Where's the outlook? Where's the integration for all this interoperable kumbaya land that we keep talking about here in crypto? Never came. So Coinbase going to roll out a $2 billion raise here through private convertible note offerings. I do want to go look at Coin and see if we've had any substantial pullback on either Coin or Circle, the stock values of them. Nice. Okay. This is on the week. So we've had a few weeks of pullback here. More preferable to buy in this kind of heavier volume area in the 200s. Hopefully I can get it. Keep shaving off a little bit. I like seeing that. Now let's go to Circle. And what I'm looking for is the biggest discount possible on these things. Oh, baby. Come on back. Bring it back. There's I don't know if that's, I'd assume it's CME, but let's see here. They have little gaps that get created, just violent price action. $159 on Circle actually might be something I feel I might be actually able to get some of this, Isaac. Because I've been looking for a good pullback on these things. You know what I mean? Like we're all like lamenting, where did alt season go? And we could just see like there's a lot of initial interest in this Circle Internet Group and the stablecoin USDC. Obviously it's here to stay in terms of like crypto ecosystem, but Wall Street's kind of yearning for this hasn't really kicked in to full gear yet. So I do actually feel like adding a little bit of Circle in. I'm actually feeling pretty good about this. 159 I can get it for, and that's close enough to 140. So actually I like where the graph is sitting right now in terms of entry point. So just noted that. Trading will begin for Mamo 9 a.m. Pacific time on the 6th of August, which it is tomorrow. Yes. If liquidity conditions are met on Coinbase for Mamo, the token, once sufficient supply of these assets established, the trading on Mamo USD pair will launch in phases. So that is coming. Mamo is coming. The larger idea and the potential behind Mamo that I see is that we could see a situation where Coinbase rolls Mamo out as an internal Coinbase specific / Coinbase wallet specific DeFi AI agent of choice. And that would be a massive, massive thing for a project of that size. Mamo is at like what is this? A $40 million market cap. This is a very, very small market cap project. So very, very interesting. Do we just top blast Mamo?
Yeah, but we've been top blasting it. I mean, if you were here and around before even Mamo came out,
I still need to do my airdrop.
Dude, you've had to do your airdrop for a while now. You should do it right after the show. But
Okay.
Now, Mamo, there's been hype around it before it was even released,
Mm,
right? I mean, we talked to Youngblood, which is the founder of what was it, Moonwell,
right.
and he built out this entire thing. He gave us literally all the details and all the use cases for it before it, like a week and a half before it even dropped.
Yeah.
The top lasting Mamo is not a bad thing in my opinion.
Okay. I feel better about that. I mean, I just made a couple $100. I'll just go buy. I'm gonna go buy a bag, and I know I'm killing DeFi crypto and airdrops. I'm gonna do it after the show today. Okay, I swear to God, I'm gonna do it. Terrible. The sadness in my heart.
I'm going
that
to force
overcomes.
you. right after
That's
the
gonna
show.
hurt me. Veteran crypto is literally gonna drive to the office and hurt me with
Karate
his double
combat.
knife hands. Give it. What are you doing?
That's a karate combat I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'll
he's
love the
like
game.
he's like a seal or something. You
I know.
know? He's
Supposed to be great.
crazy. All right. So $3 trillion asset manager Goldman Sachs is expecting the Federal Reserve to cut those interest rates starting in September. Now, the time frame of why this matters, when alt season, right? The sad reality is alts are tied to a risk-on environment. The risk-on environment, I think, really does have to wait until the FOMC does another rate cut and starts the larger span of rate cuts that we're expecting to see here. Let's go check out expectations. This is important to just keep an eye on. 43 days from now, okay, it should be around 90%. 90%, yes. 89.4% likelihood that we're going to see that rate cut in September. I want to see these tick into the 80, 90% as well. The 25 base point outlook for October currently at 57%. And then the December, it is almost a locked battle on if no interest rate cut is going to happen in December or not. But you know what? This September moment, this is 45 days away. We might only have 45 days to stack altcoins. If we only have 45 days left to live outside of alt season, Isaac, what are you buying? What are you buying? Let me know in the chat. What are
Easy
you
pickings.
buying? If you only have 45 days left to stack, what are you buying?
I'm
That's
going to
the
give
question.
3 options.
3 options. All right.
Obviously, love my drift. I'm picking drift.
Okay.
They're doing so much right now.
Okay.
We have Aerodrome, my biggest bag, by the way. And then, dude, that's a hard one.
Who Kai's buying strippers?
Buying strippers?
What is that the ticker?
Is that the ticker, or are
there's
you buying
probably a-
actual strippers?
There's probably a ticker.
I wouldn't be surprised.
XTZ Pepe.
If there's a Fen ticker, there's a stripper sticker.
Okay.
Last pick, Chainlink.
Okay. We got a lot of interesting picks in the chat here. We got Ondo, Casper, and Flair. Casper I think Casper's way down. Casper's way down. Let's see. Last I looked at it. Let's look at this. This is a throwback. It's at 1 cent flat. Like if this thing rips, like even if it like visits, what is this? It's like a 6x to like the tiny, tiny little. I need veteran crypto's advice on this one. Is there still life in the Casper ecosystem?
That looks like the ICP graph.
It looks like the ICP graph. There is no lie. This looks, he loves it. It's a long shot. He loves it. Okay. Fair enough. You know, I take long shots too. You can't get lucky if you're at the fair, folks. That's what I always say. You can't get lucky if you're at the fair. Now, a long shot that I've taken, obviously Constellation DAG. I don't think I have the article I wanted to highlight on it, but really the article was just highlighting price action. Constellation DAG has actually been pretty decent to me. And it's only, we choose to buy low spots. That chart looks like BTZ. I don't know, Sam's. Oh my God. So Constellation DAG, it looks pretty bad too, but I'm still essentially at about a 2x from buy points on it. So I'm not mad at Constellation DAG. This one, this is a long shot that I have, but I still have that chaotic bone in my body that tells me the past work it's done with the Department of Defense, the past Project Iron Spider with the Army and Navy, and just a focus on data security gives it a potential to be kind of a sleeper. Gives it a potential to kind of be a utility-based sleeper. So what a beautiful day. You know, we've closed a winning trade. We probably had more upside on the trade, but it feels good to just make the money and walk away. We did indeed. Look, well, I think I closed it right here and we moved up. I could have had so much more. All right, we're going to go search for the next trade. And I'm going to use the money I just made to go buy a little bit of Mammo. I'm going to buy some Mammo, Veteran Crypto, and everyone needs to follow Veteran Crypto and DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. Hold on. Before I go, make sure to follow Veteran Crypto and Jeff at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. Here is Veteran Crypto's creepy, beautiful face, the ultimate financial strategy. He's looking cool. Probably just chopped some wood. He's thinking hard here at DeFi Crypto and Airdrop on YouTube. 48,200 subscribers. Give them some love. They work hard for it. This is where they do a lot of DeFi, a lot of yield earning activities. And if you like making money with crypto, it's a pretty useful channel to subscribe to. So make sure you do so. I love you and appreciate every single one of you out there. Of course, Vet, Wick 589, Avi GR1, Inked Pirate, Laughing Levy, Laughing Lavoy. Sebastian, what is up, everyone? Appreciate you joining me on the show today, and we will see you on the next episode. Until then, I bid you adieu. Goodbye.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.